All right, we're back. We got ourselves some E9 Spectral Vision Pale Ale from Tacoma. This is a local guy. 5.2%. And what I like about E9 is they put the notes up on the side. Double dry hopped, slightly hazy pale ale. Notes of tropical and stone fruit, orange, and mango. Sounds good to me. And at 5%, sounds pretty crushable too. Nice fruit aromas coming off the nose. Okay, so it has some decent body for being a 5% pale ale. Definitely seems like, not chewy, but has just a little bit of viscosity, and it has like real nice fruit flavors. I like it. Yeah, I'm digging it. So E9, another good one. Alright guys, let us get into it. We are using some APR Winterfall. And I don't know if it's just the font or if I'm just losing my mind. I have had a few. But it says Winterfall. Is it just me, or does it look like there's a space right there? Winterfall. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the way that the font lays down. But it almost looks like Winterfall. Anyways, you can see the ingredients right there. Australian Private Reserve is obviously a product of Australia. And Australia, or APR, is a perfumer that happens to make some shaving supplies. So 4.4 ounces is the equivalent of 125 grams. And it's $27.50 here in the States. And it's a tallow base. Let's get some water on the base. I already got it whipped up. Whipped up really easily. I have used APR a few times. Samples, as well as just borrowing things from friends. But this is the first APR I've ever owned. And this was a gift from Mac Shaves. So, thank you, Mac. I appreciate you, bro. Has this nice blue jar. It's not the wide mouth, low profile jars, but it's kind of like the other style that some people bitch about, but there's really nothing wrong with. And there's a look at it. It's a somewhat firm soap base. The scent on it is supposed to be a Chypre in the winter time. So, kind of interesting. Or sheeper. Whatever, however you pronounce it. We got the Roger Quintero designed bowl that was 3D printed by Tony Dellett. Oops. Now we're getting lather on the outside there. We need that on the inside. And then we have the Dark Sanctum official Samurai X, or I guess now after the BS it's called the RoninX brush. And this one's in the marble colorway. Very nice looking brush. It's obviously designed in that same Paladin samurai style. You know what I mean? Very beautiful little brush. The 3D printing, I got the smooth finish. So, I mean, you can still see the lines there, but it's very smooth textured. Very good looking brush. All 3D printing kind of has a seam, and there's the seam on that one. It's not really intrusive, but it's just something that kind of has to happen with 3D printing. Some people, just won't be able to live with that. Others will. I have a AP Shave Co. 2-bed synthetic knot in this brush. I'm still getting used to it, but it's definitely soft. It splays well. I think it has a little bit more backbone than the cashmere or the Sinbad. It's not super springy. Maybe just a tad more than I'd like it, but it's not super springy. One thing I like about my interaction with Dark Sanctum is he wanted to have, he doesn't stock the AP Shave Co. Knots, but when I was looking through his offerings, and I wanted to send him a knot for him to put in, and he recommended, or I told him that I've done it before and I could do it again, and he recommended just sending it to him so that he can custom make the fitting, the size of the fitting, the hole. He can bore the hole to the exact size of the knot. Because he said sometimes knots have a slight variation, and they're not always, a 26 millimeter isn't always 26 millimeters. And so he said, if I have it in hand, since this is like a 3D printed, computer aided design situation, he was telling me, he could basically just adjust the hole size just by dialing it in on the computer. And so he really strongly recommended that I just send the knot to him so that, the end result was satisfactory. And even though I'm confident in my knot setting skills, there was a little bit of, he had a valid point. So I sent my knots to him, and he dry fit them, gave me a look at what they look like, and then once I made my decision, he went ahead and put them in, and thing is snug, and it's just set just right. So good job, Jose. I might as well take a moment to make a mail call. I also got my Lather and Blade t-shirt in from the Facebook group. I also got the logo on the back, if you can see it. Very nice logo. I believe this logo was made by Shaving with Raza for the Lather and Blade Facebook group. Awesome shirt, fits just right, and the logo's badass. So, let's get into it. I'm going to be using the Friodur here, and this is the square point. You can go ahead and get a look at that, the grind, and the spine work. Beautiful, beautiful razor. This is probably my second favorite razor in my collection right here. I just love the way this thing shaves. I love the way that it feels when I'm stropping it. There's just really nothing negative to be said about it. Now, I have used the APR soap base before. I'm not super familiar with APR. Obviously, they've done a lot of collaborations in the wet shaving community and outside of their own products. They have collaborated with multiple artisans in our community, so I do appreciate that about them. They are known for having, really good scents. Obviously, they are a professional perfumer, so that's pretty cool. I obviously appreciate that they spotlight the shaving community with their shaving products. They have been out of commission for just a little while, unfortunately. whoever was making their soap base, unfortunately, stopped making it. And I don't know the full story there, but they basically stopped offering shaving supplies because they don't have someone to make their soap base. So it is what it is. The APR became kind of unobtainium, and the the hunt was on, and that's all cool. It's not like heralded as like one of the best soap bases in the world, although it's not a slouch. It lathers up real easy. Lathers up real easy, but I don't think it gets super dense. I think at best it kind of hits that medium density. And that's perfectly fine. Medium density is good. And I think it has good to great slickness, but again, it's kind of nothing nothing spectacular. But definitely adequate. I think their scents is what really made the APR shaving soaps shine. They're made by a professional perfumer. They are original scents, if there is such a thing, and they're just great creations. Every one of them that I've came across so far, I've liked. Now, Winterfall is no exception. To me, it does encapsulate winter pretty well, or at least a winter scene for sure. So, it's supposed to be a Chypre scent, and I guess Chypre is in a chord, so it's not a scent note per se, but instead it's an accord of scent notes. So a kind of formulation of multiple scent notes that create an accord. And so the Chypre accord is kind of like citrus top notes with a labdanum middle and an oak moss base. And so if we look at the scent notes for Winterfall here, it's I wrote them down if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Sicilian bergamot, there's your top citrus, and cypress. And then in the mid, they have labdanum in the mid, rosewood as well. And then in the base, they have Brunet agarwood, which is oud, essentially, patchouli, oak moss, and musk. So there you go. They did hit all the required scent notes to make the Chypre accord. And to me, I definitely think it is one for the funk boys. And the funk boys, if you're unfamiliar, is CDB's retort to me calling him and the Citrus Gang the Fresh Boys. So obviously the Fresh Boys, sounds a little bit better, but the Funk Boys know how to get down, get down, get down. So yeah, this one I would say there's definitely a little reminiscent for the Funk Boys, but it is in the base, and I don't feel like the base makes up the whole fragrance. I don't feel like it's base heavy. And the reason I say that is because what makes it kind of a winter chypre is this feeling of being in a cold area. And again, I take you to a scene setting scent note, which is, instead of, being a straight up scent note, it's more so just imagine being in, maybe like in the dark even, like being in the like desolate winter at night. And it's cold, it's dark, and it's quiet. And to me, this kind of gives you that chill. And many soaps have done it before, but this one does it as well, and it does it pretty well. And then on top of that, it has the funk, So, obviously warm, patchouli, musk, argerwood. It's going to be somewhat warm and funky, earthy, resinous, but it has that somewhat brighter chill factor. I don't know what that chill factor should be in accord all in its own, because multiple scents have done this. Crap, I'm going with the grain when I should be going against the grain. So, multiple scents have done this before. Vespers has this chill factor. I think Terror kind of has that chill factor. And basically all it is that when you smell it, you kind of get the feeling that it's cold. Like the scent jogs the memory of being in a cold area. And it's really cool how the brain works like that. Excuse me. So, the scent is a definite winner for me. I feel like my nose is on point today, but on the off chance that it isn't, whatever I'm getting today is still enjoyable. And this Friodur is just fucking mowing it down. So I guess might as well take a swig and jump over to another topic. Motherfuckers want to claim that they originated things that they most likely did not originate. Now, you might have staked your claim. You might have been doing it for the last few years. And people might even have associated your brand was something. But that doesn't mean that you were the originator. Now, there's a lot of room for a lot of people to eat. In this hobby. So, what I'm referring to here is Paladin calling out Dark Sanctum for their 3D printed, samurai inspired brush handle, which unfortunately or subsequently, Jose changed the name to Ronin instead of Samurai, which is perfectly fine. Maybe he's just trying to make people stop being so fucking angry or whatever. I honestly, I don't speak for him. I don't know his intentions, but he changed the name, which is probably for the best. But seriously, all he did was use a design that had been made before. It had been copied before. And I don't know if it was the inexpensive nature or the maybe the prospect of how fast and inexpensive that he can churn out this popular style with the 3D printing. I don't know what it was that made him become the center of attack here, because he wasn't the first one to duplicate the design of a samurai brush. And maybe the others got blowback too, maybe not. But the others were definitely not at an inexpensive price point that the Dark Sanctum is. The Dark Sanctum is inexpensive, and it looks good, feels good, and the level of customization is unreal. And so maybe that's what was so threatening that it triggered a response. Maybe not. I honestly don't know the full story. This is me from the outside looking in. But I just had to sit back on the sidelines and laugh, because shit gets copied all the time, and people that like Dark Sanctum shit are over here backing up Paladin when they get angry, and then, eventually down the road they're gonna flip-flop on Paladin when somebody else gets angry, and they're just spineless, you know what I mean? And just from the outside looking in, it's pretty hilarious. In all honesty, I've always liked the samurai design. I think it's a very good looking brush handle. But that fucking branding on the side of the brush handle is cheesy as fuck. Makes it look cheap, and I'm not talking inexpensive. Makes it look cheap. That's just my my preference. I don't like branding on the side. You don't see a lot of items in my den with branding on the side. So I've never got a Paladin for that reason. And here's the House of Mammoth, formerly Mammoth Soaps, Hygge. This is made by Oleo Soapworks, or formerly Oleo Soapworks. Now it's Chicago Grooming Co. But this is their Aftershave Balm. And I know I said I wasn't going to buy no more scented Aftershave Balms. but I'm a shaving degenerate. And I don't just say that I'm one. And Hygge is a fucking fantastic scent. I'm gonna get some all the way up on my forehead. So, when Dark Sanctum offered their Samurai X, now known as the RoninX, with all that customization, you could get it short, you can get it tall, you can get it in any color you can dream of. You can get it with a smooth texture, a medium texture, or a heavy texture. You can get it with a synthetic or a badger. You can get it with one of his offerings, or you can send something of your own collection in for him to custom fit. And it's just kind of like the options were endless. Jose was really cool to work with, and it's inexpensive at that. I couldn't not do it. And so I have no regrets about it. It's an awesome looking handle. And Jose was a pleasure to work with. And Paladin, kicking and screaming and throwing a fit, just made me laugh today. Just made me laugh. Anyhow, I hope you guys are salty as fuck. And I hope you enjoyed this shave. And I hope you enjoyed this shave. Thank you for all the support, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. This community cracks me up.